There's a silent battle that begins even before the day breaks. It doesn't depend on circumstances, the weather, or the people around you. This battle is fought deep within your being, in the invisible arena of your mind and heart. It's you against you. There's no audience watching. There's no applause to motivate you or boos to alert you. This is a war that few recognize and even fewer have the courage to face. But it's crucial because the outcome of this fight defines the direction of your life. Every day, we're confronted by a version of ourselves that insists on limiting us. It's that familiar voice that questions, "Are you really good enough? Why try if you failed before?" That voice isn't an external enemy. It comes from within, fueled by your doubts, insecurities, and the stories you've chosen to believe about who you are. But here's the critical point. That voice only has the power you allow it to have. It can only paralyze you if you decide to listen, if you choose to obey. And here's the truth that many fail to see. You are not a prisoner of this limited version of yourself. You hold the key. You always have. Think about the times you hesitated, delayed, or even gave up. Was it really the world that blocked you? Or was it the fear of failing, of not being enough, that made you hold back? That version of you, the one that fears judgment, that settles, that procrastinates, is not your essence. It's just a reflection of past experiences, an echo of your mistakes and pains. But you are not your mistakes. You are not your pain. You are the potential you carry, the ability to reinvent yourself every new day. Each sunrise is a blank page, an opportunity to write a new story. The fight against yourself is not easy. It demands strength, discipline, and, above all, honesty. It requires you to look within and acknowledge your weaknesses without running from them. Admitting your fears doesn't weaken you. On the contrary, it makes you human and aware. By confronting your flaws, you discover where you need to grow. And when you realize this, the magic begins. Every small victory matters. That moment when you chose to get out of bed despite wanting to stay. That instant when you decided to act, even while doubting the outcome. These decisions may seem insignificant, but they're what build your true strength. You don't need to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion that only feeds self-sabotage. You just need to be better than you were yesterday. One step forward, one small improvement each day. Tiny acts of courage accumulate until, one day, you realize you've become uncheckable. And what about when you fail? Because you will fail. That's an unavoidable reality, and that's okay. Every mistake is a disguised lesson, an opportunity to learn. When you fall, it's not the end. It's just a pause to adjust your strategy, to try again, stronger and wiser. Remember, you're not competing with the world. You're not trying to surpass someone else. The only competition that matters is against your own procrastination, your own fear, your own self-sabotage. And every time you win, something changes within you. Confidence grows, strength accumulates, and that critical voice begins to weaken. You discover you're stronger than you imagined, more resilient than you believed, more capable than you ever dreamed. There are no guarantees that life will be easy. Challenges will come, storms will arrive. But when you can face yourself, nothing can stop you. Because, in the end, the greatest enemy was never the world outside. It was always you. This internal battle, often ignored, is what truly shapes who you are and who you will become. While society is busy imposing standards and expectations, the real question remains: how do you deal with your self-image? Most people live as prisoners of their limiting beliefs, carrying stories of past failures as if they were unbreakable chains. But the past doesn't define the future. It's only a starting point, not a destination. You can choose to free yourself from those shackles. You can decide that yesterday's mistake will be the foundation for tomorrow's success. The path to overcoming this internal struggle is not linear. There will be days when you feel in control, invincible, fully yourself. But there will also be days when doubts and fears return with a force that feels overwhelming. In those moments, it's crucial to remember that strength isn't in never falling, but in always getting back up. Each stumble is a lesson, each obstacle an opportunity to know yourself better. Who you are in adversity speaks far more about your essence than who you are in victory. One of the biggest challenges of this fight is dealing with procrastination. That feeling that you can always start tomorrow, that you're not ready yet. But here's the truth, you'll never be fully ready. Perfection is an illusion that keeps you trapped. Starting, even imperfectly, is what turns intention into action, dream into reality. Each small action you take, no matter how insignificant it seems, is a victory over inertia, a testament that you are in control. It's also important to remember that fear is a constant adversary in this battle. It will try to paralyze you, to make you believe it's better not to try than to risk failing. But fear is not a signal to retreat. It's a sign you're approaching something important. Fear arises where there's potential for growth. Using it as fuel, instead of letting it consume you, is what separates those who truly live from those who merely exist. Above all, you must believe in yourself. This belief isn't arrogance, but confidence built on the repetition of small victories. Every time you choose to move forward, even in the face of fear, every time you honor the commitments you made to yourself, you strengthen that belief. It becomes uncheckable, no matter how many times you stumble or fall. As long as you keep getting back up, you keep winning. Because, in the end, it's not about being perfect, but about being persistent. The battle between you and you never really ends, and that's a beautiful thing. It's the essence of growth, of learning, of transformation. It's not about reaching a point of perfection, but embracing the continuous process of becoming better each day. The fight is tough, but the reward is priceless. It's you against you, and every day you can choose to be your greatest ally instead of your worst enemy. May the best version of you win.